Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino.
Yan ang Pinoy.
Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, tsumbe, sibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, Pilipino, yan ang Pinoy.
Ang kagandahan po ng sports, tuwid-tuwi na, ay may dumadating na bagong bayani, mga bagong bituin. Ngayong araw pong ito, silipin at kausapin po natin ang ilan. Sa inyo pong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga, di paano, bangon na! Power and play na!
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat, mga kapatid. Nagmumula po sa Calgary, Alberta, dito po sa Canada. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Chery Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Chery Tiggo, it's fun to drive. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. True religion, where passion meets power. And of course, we are powered by Smart. Live Smart. Magandang araw po dyan sa ating mga kababayan sa Pilipinas. Sa amang dako ng Pilipinas po kayo naroon, nakikinig man kayo sa ating paboritong istasyon, ng 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM, o di kaya ay sa ating 1PH on Signal TV. O di kaya po sa ating Facebook coverage sa Facebook Live ng 1PH, Signal TV at ng Power and Play. Binabati po namin naman lahat po ng mga naririto sa Calgary, Alberta. Naku, dami pong Pilipino dito Kung nakikita nyo, medyo po maliwanag pa ang panahon dito po sa Calgary, Alberta. Subalit gabi na po dito, maaga po ng gabi. Ang araw po dito ay lumulubog ng mga bandang alas 9 pasado. Kaya po minsan nakaka-disorient. Ako po ay maghuhingi na sa inyo ng paumanhin sapagkat ang aking boses sa kasulukuyan ay hindi maganda. Medyo alam niyo po ang panahon dito sa Canada ay napakalamig. Minsan naman po ay aaraw, parang cherry loom, talaga hong medyo meron tayong konting sipon at konting pag-ubo. Kaya po hihingi po ako ng paumanhin kung tayo po ay magkakaroon ng problema. Pero again, binabati po natin lahat ng mga nanonood po sa atin ngayong araw pong ito. Hunyo na pala, no? Naku, pampihira. Sana po ay medyo maayos ang inyong pong kalagayan kung saan man kayo naroon. Alam niyo po, pinag-uusapan natin yung Pilipinas, yung Canada, marami pong pagkakaiba. Pero iisa ang siguro ang pwede natin sabihin pagkakahamping. Alam niyo kung ano ho yun? Ang hilig po sa palakasan, sa sports. Dito po ang pinag-uusapan din ay ang napakaraming mga balita tungkol sa sports. Mula po sa golf, sa tennis na nangyayari ngayon dyan sa French Open, and of course, yung NBA Finals na ating pong napanood kahapon, kung saan nagwagi ang Denver Nuggets kontra ng Miami Heat sa Game 1 ng NBA Finals. Well, again, ang tanong dyan, yan ba'y dulot ng pagod ng Miami nung pong kanilang Best of 7 series kontra Celtics, o di kaya ito ay dulot ng pahinga naman ng Denver, yung bang altitude ay nakaramdam na ang Miami ng problema? Well, mamaya po, hihimayin namin yung NBA Finals at iba pang mga issues at mga sidelights tungkol sa NBA Finals. Gusto niyo bang malaman ano nangyayari sa likod ng NBA Finals? Mamaya po makakasama natin ang mga NBA commentators, mga experience. Ito po may mga karanasan sa coverage ng NBA, si Boomz Gonzalez at si Paolo del Rosario. Pinag-uusapan din po dito sa Canada, of course, nung isang araw, meron tayong mga nakahalubilong mga Pilipino. Ang tanong po, kamusta ang Gilas? Well, mamaya po, kakamustahin natin ang isang player, isang bituin na nawala ang ningning dahil sa injuries. Pero ngayon ay muling nagbabalik. Nagtatangkang makapasok sa FIBA World Cup lineup ng Gilas, Pilipinas. Yan po ay si AJ Edu na mamaya po ay ating makakapanayam live dito po sa inyong palatuntunan. And pinag-uusapan ang mga bagong bituin, mga bagong recruits. Makakapanayam po natin din mamaya live ang bagong mga henerasyon ng volleyball players para sa PVL na ngayon po ay maglalaro sa isang contender katulad ng Chery Tiggo crossover. Yan po ay sila Jen Nierva, si Cess Robles at si Laure. Mamaya po yan, makakasama natin yan. So, tayo po ay magsimula na sa ating huntahan dahil marami po tayong pag-uusapan dito po sa ating palatuntunan ngayong araw pong ito. Siyempre, simulan na natin sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Simulan natin sa NBA. First blood, nakauna ang Denver Nuggets kontra Miami Heat sa likod ng lopsided 104-93 win. Nakuha ng Nuggets ang lamang sa unang 4 na minuto ng laban at hindi na nila yan pinakawalan hanggang final buzzer. Simple lang din kay Nikola Jokic ang isa na namang triple-double na 27 points, 10 rebounds at 14 assists. Sa Lunes na po ang Game 2 ng NBA Finals. Dito naman sa PBA, mariing itinanggi ng Converge Management na nag-recruit sila ng bagong koponan para umalis ng PBA at magtayo ng sariling liga. Sa isang statement, iginiit ni Converge owner Dennis Uy na wala sila sa basketball business at wala silang planong pasukin yan. Target daw ng Converge na mas mapapalapit sa maraming Pilipino sa pagsali nila sa PBA. Lumutang ang issue ng pagkalas ng Converge matapos na ma-reject si Governor Dennis Delta Pineda bilang governor ng Fiber Xers. Good news naman! Balik bansa na si Gilas Pilipinas big man AJ Edu. Hinihintay ngayon kung magiging parte ng Gilas pool ang dating US NCAA player para sa FIBA World Cup. Kaliwat kanang injury ang nakaapekto sa collegiate career ng 6'10" big man. Pero marami ang umaasang magtutuloy-tuloy na ang basketball career ni AJ nang walang problema sa kalusugan. Mamaya ay makakasama natin po si AJ mismo live dito sa Power and Play. Kung may nagbabalik, meron namang umalis. Nagpalit na ng nationality ang isa sa mga top fencers ng Pinas. Ivory Coast na ang i-represent ni Maxine Esteban. Inaprubahan ng Philippine Fencing Association ang paglipat ni Esteban at humingi na rin ng request ng Pinay fencer sa International Fencing Federation para alisin ang residency rule. Target ni Esteban na makatungtong sa 2024 Paris Olympics. Sa PVL naman, puspusa ng off-season moves ng mga koponan bago ang PVL Invitational Conference. Chery Tiggo ang may pinakamalaking roster change matapos makuha ang mga top recruits galing college. Kasama dyan sina Laure at Amy Hernandez ng UST at sina Jen Nierva, Cess Robles at Joy Micagande ng NU. Ang FT Logistics naman nakuha sina Julina de la Cruz at Mars Alba galing Lasal at si Jovelyn Fernandez ng FEU. Nagbabalik naman si Jovelyn Gonzaga sa Signal HD Spikers. Reunited sila ni Rachel Ann Dakis matapos ang 3 taon. Ang defending champion naman na Creamline dinagdag sa kanilang solid na lineup ang 2-time SEA Games bronze medalist na si Bernadette Pons. At yan po ang buod ng mga balita sa linggong ito sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Well, sabi nga natin, ang dami pong mga nangyayari ngayon sa mundo ng palakasan at of course, ang unang-una na po dyan ay ang NBA Finals. Kanina po ay pinag-uusapan natin yan. Ako ang laki ng aking expectation na ito pong finals na to ay maganda despite the numbers, despite the odds ng Las Vegas. Bagamat po natalo ang Miami Heat ng 2 beses sa koponan ng Denver noong regular season, alam niyo po yung regular season, ang pinakamalaki pong kalamangan nun ay 11 puntos. Ang total or average na pagkatalo ng Miami ay 5 puntos. At nung panahon pong yon, hindi pa naglalaro si Kevin Love at si yung pong bagong sentro, si Cody Zeller ng Miami Heat. Pero of course, kahapon, nakita po natin kung gaano kalakas talaga ang Denver Nuggets. Lalong-lalo na ang kanilang superstar center na si Nikola Jokic. Kaya ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito sa Pulso ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ito po ang tanong natin. Sa NBA Finals po, may laban pa ba ang Miami Heat o masusweep na sila ng Denver Nuggets? Ulitin ko po yan. Sa tingin niyo ba may laban pa ang Miami Heat? Makakabalik pa dito sa series ito o masisweep? Hindi makakapanalo Miami kontra Denver Nuggets. Magpadala lamang po ng inyong kuro-kuro sa aming Twitter account at Noli Iyalaw, di kaya po sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play, at mamaya po kami pipili random ng mga babasahin ng inyong mga komentaryo. Again, ito pong Pulso ng Bayan na hihatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Alright, pag-usapan natin ng mga promotion. Of course, nagbabalik pa rin po ang top-up promo ng Joyride Super App, ang bago ninyo pong kasundo dito sa Power and Play. Ang Joyride po ay magbibigay ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits o JRPay wallet credits sa 5 maswerteng mapipili at the end of the show. Napakadali po para sumali. I-download lamang ang latest version ng Joyride Super App. Latest po makikita nyo yung QR code dyan, iscan nyo lang ho yan at i-download ang latest version. Kuha na ng screenshot, kasama po ang inyong pangalan dun sa app's home screen. Ipadala ang screenshot sa Power and Play Facebook page via private message. Isama nyo po ang inyong buong pangalan at registered mobile number sa inyong Joyride account at 50 lucky winners ang aming pipiliin sa kaduluduluhan ng ating show. At sila po ay mananalo ng 1,000 pesos JRPay wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Alright, again, mamaya po abangan nyo yung pong ating mga pag-uusapan. Mamaya po yan. Ang ating po mga magiging bisita ay talaga ngayon lang nating makakasabay. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga bagong recruits ng Chery, Tiggo, crossovers. Napakagagaling and of course, sikat noong collegiate days nila. Mamaya po ating mga kasama, live din po yan. At of course, mamaya naman si AJ Edu, atin rin po makakausap. First time na makakausap natin in a long time dahil alam niyo po to si AJ Edu talagang kumbaga inabot ng malas. Ito po ay touted to be one of the twin towers ng Pilipinas kasama si Kai Soto. Noong pong naglaro siya para sa Gilas, wala pa atang 2 minuto ay na-injure na kagad ito sa kanyang tuhod. Naalala ko tuloy yung nangyari kay Jason Tatum noong Game 7 kontra ng Miami. First play, nakapilok. Kaya po naapektuhan ang kanyang paglalaro noong Game 7 at natalo na nga ng tuluyan ang Boston Celtics. Si AJ Edu po, nagka-problema noon pa lang sa unang laro. Ika nga, hindi na ho siya nakalaro. Next year, nung bumalik ko siya, na-injure na naman yung kabila namang tuhod. At kaya po ito ay matagal na nagpahinga. Pero this season, si AJ po ay nakatapos ng season niya sa University of Toledo Rockets, dyan po sa Ohio. At siya nga po ay ating makakapanayam tungkol sa kanyang mga plano mamaya-maya. Alright mga kapatid, at this point, we are ready to begin ang ating puntahan, ang ating usapan mula po dito sa Calgary, Alberta, Canada sa ating pong paboritong Fast Take.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
At ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Chery Tiggo, it's fun to drive. At tayo po'y maswerte ngayong araw pong ito na sasamahan itong bagong buwan ng isa nating kaibigan. Well, solo flight siya ngayon pero kayang-kaya. Kayang-kaya, lalong-lalo na sa isang patikan na hindi lamang atleta kung hindi coach and of course sports analyst. Walang iba kung hindi ang ating kaibigang si Coach Eric Reyes. Magandang umaga, Coach Eric. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning sa inyo. Noli, it's so nice to see you again. Actually, hindi na nga ako, parang as you said, medyo bati ka na, pero kinakabahan pa rin lalo na pag ikaw yung nag-i-interview.
alam niyo po, ganyan talaga. Pag walang kaba, sabi nga nila, alam ni Eric yan, sa mga basketball player, pag walang kaba, hindi magandang sinyales yan. Dahil hindi ka naghahanda ng tuluyan, di ba, Coach? Tama yan.
Yeah, it's the preparation and the excitement that gets me going also.
Before we go to the Fast Take issues, this is your second time on the Fast Take floor. I want to ask you lang about Gilas. Kasi mamaya makakausap ko si AJ Edu. No? Of course, napabalita yung tungkol kay Justin Brownlee at saka kay Jordan Clarkson na may plano na baka ang maging local ay si Justin Brownlee at ang maging naturalized player ay si Jordan Clarkson. Unang-una, Coach, do you think malaki chance dito?
Frankly, it will be very difficult. It will be challenging. I've covered some FIBA games, especially sa ibang bansa, yung mga Dominican Republic, yung mga Angola. They're tough. And we've seen ang lalaki ng mga players, they're talented, yung bilis nila. But syempre, when you're playing in your home court, the sixth man, parang Ginebra lang naman yan, di ba? Iba when you're playing in front of your home country. So that in itself will help. But definitely, hopefully, we get the full complement of everybody. Kung makakapagsabay si Clarkson and Brownlee, then that will be a big plus for us. So magandang, it's exciting, just thinking about it on paper, syempre mas exciting talaga yan. But syempre iba na talaga pag nandun ka sa laro.
In fact, mamaya, Coach, isang player na marami nang nag-iisip o nangangarap. Paano kaya itong player kung makasama rin, kasama ni Kai Soto? Si AJ Edu ay ating makakapanayam. You know AJ from his younger days, of course. What do you think is a player like AJ going to need para siya ay makapasok sa Gilas lineup?
Well, number one, the most important thing here is it will be a big plus for AJ. We all know AJ is a tall player, so that in itself will be a big plus. It will increase the average ceiling of our national team. Pangalawa, importante kasi dyan, Noli, yung importante talaga dyan yung skill, yung lakas ng katawan. A lot of these players nowadays, especially yung malalaki, we've seen it with Jokic in the NBA and the Serbian team and all over the world. Yung malalaki tumitira na sa labas. So, importante yan. We've seen Kai Soto hit a couple of threes already in the past FIBA competition. So, that in itself is very much promising and I'm really excited to watch. But for AJ, importante talaga yung kahit sabihin mo sa kanyang malakas yung katawan niya, kaya niya kumuha ng bola, in the perimeter game or even the three-point game is very important.
Absolutely. And when you look at his stats, of course, hindi siya masyadong tumitira from the outside. So again, it will take a lot of proving, but definitely 6'10 is 6'10. At sabi nga ni Coach Chote, kailangan natin ng mga malalaki at mahuhusay na players sa ating national team. So we will find out soon enough kung ano mangyayari sa ating batang si AJ Edu. Alright, Coach Eric, alam mo na ang drill dito sa Fast Take. Napakasimple lamang, walang tama, walang mali. Ang opinion mo ang mahalaga. And of course, bato-bato sa langit. Tamaan, wag magagalit. And of course, ang 1 minute to answer all of the Fast Take issues. So simulan na natin. Coach, if you're ready, let's begin with the first issue of the morning. Ang lahat ng ating mga katanungan ay patungkol sa basketball and of course, lalong-lalo na sa PBA. Recently, nagkaroon ng meeting ang PBA Board of Governors dyan sa Paris, France. At marami silang nadesisyonan, no? Including yung mga eligibility issues ng mga players na nag-ibang bansa at hindi sumali sa draft. Nung araw, meron tayong mga rules about pag umalis ka, kailangan kang at hindi ka bumalik within 3 years from the time na pwede ka nang i-draft, you have to have a sit-out period of another 2 years. Pero ngayon, mukhang nagbago na ang ihip ng hangin. So ang tanong, Eric, first issue, anong masasabi mo sa pagtanggal ng sit-out period sa mga overseas Pinoy hoopers na nag-skip ng PBA draft? 1 minute, Coach Eric. Go!
Well, ako para sa akin maganda yun. Para at least we could welcome them back. We could get those players to again play for our country, play for our league. So dati sa ako very I really owe the PBA a lot. Malaki utang na loob ko sa PBA and I look up to the PBA ever since when I was a child. So it would be nice to have all those great players na hindi pa nakakalaro sa PBA pero they found their way in other countries to really strut their wares and show what they have. So magandang balita yan kung makakabalik sila dito at makakapaglaro ulit dito sa ating bansa.
Well, alam natin na napakarami yan. Napakarami ang mga players na yan, led of course by our tall man, Kai Soto. And certainly we are hoping na yung pagkakaalis ng sit-out period na yan, magiging pathway din ni Kai eventually na makapaglaro sa PBA. But of course, ito lang ang aking kwidaw. And again, I say this with all candor and with all humility. Alam niyo po, yung kanilang iniisip na ang magiging sistema ay depende sa Board of Governors, easy-easy ho tayo dyan. Sapagkat lahat po ng teams, and hindi po natin ito minamasama sa kanilang mga teams at mga Board of Governors, lahat po ng teams may kanya-kanyang agenda yan. Siyempre para manalo at para palakasin ang kanilang team. So if the lottery will depend on what the Board of Governors will decide, medyo kailangan po yan ibabalanse ng wisdom ng commissioner ng PBA para ho maayos at hindi mapaboran ang ilang mga teams na meron pong kapangyarihang makakuha ng boto. Alright, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Naku, ito yung sinasabi mo mga player na pwede na maglaro pero nasa abroad. So ang tanong po, sino sa mga naglalaro, Coach Eric, abroad, ang sa tingin mo pinakaabangan sakali magpa-draft sila sa PBA? I'll give you 1 minute. Go!
Okay, I have 3 in mind. First one, of course, Kai Soto. Maganda yan, makalaro si Kai dito. It brings back the fond memories of his father na naglaro rin sa PBA and was also a good player. So, maganda yan, makakalaban niya, of course, si Junmar and even si Stan Hardinger and even Greg Slaughter, babalik din yan if ever nga may ganong opportunity. Number 2, Renz Abando. Renz Abando is a very athletic.
Wow! Oh.
He creates a lot of excitement in the game. In the Korean League, I watched some highlights of his game. Nakakatuwa panoorin. And it reminds me of a guy like Samboy Lim. Matapang maglaro. A skilled player who can take it to the basket, who also has a mean outside shot. And then number 3, yung he played for Ateneo. He was supposed to play for Ateneo, pero hindi nga lang talaga natuloy do sa kanyang paglalaro for Ateneo. Sayang nga, he played for Gilas as well, pero hindi lang talaga natuloy. At times si Dwight Ramos, those are the guys who I would really like to see play here kasi we never really got to see them. Of course, like si Dwight, hindi na natuloy sa Ateneo. Si Renz, of course, nakita lang natin sa collegiate level, pero hindi nga rin natin nakita to strut his wares in the PBA, including, of course, si Kai Soto.
Among the 3, Coach Eric, and I totally agree with you. Of course, I'd also like to see RJ Abarientos, who's playing very well also in Korea. Plus, of course, a guy like Ferdy Ravena na talaga namang fan favorite. But among the 3 na binanggit mo, Coach Eric, sino sa tingin mo ang most likely, ang unang makakabalik sa PBA?
There's a good chance for Renz to be able to come here and play. Kasi nga si Renz is if you look at the Kai Soto kasi he has dreams of really making it to the NBA. Actually all these guys, hindi pa naman may ayaw makapaglaro sa NBA. Pero syempre si Renz, si Kai, meron pang, there's a long shot pa, may chance pa kasi he's 7 foot. And then he's also a skilled player. Maybe a little bit more seasoning and training in the US, perhaps baka makapasok. Si Renz naman,
tama.
yung height niya, hindi siya ganun katangkad, very athletic, but he's a fan favorite in the Korean League. So, if ever, si Renz talaga yung may chance ang makalaro kagad sa PBA.
Well, naasahan natin yan. And of course, maganda yan because I remember even during the time of the Northern Consolidated Cement na nagbalikan yung mga player at nagpa-draft talagang tumaas kagad. Even during the original Gilas time na nagpasukan yung mga player, tumaas ang fan following. Alright, let's go to our third and final issue of the morning, Coach Eric. At ito ay patungkol pa rin sa PBA. Alam naman natin na daming dinesisyonan dun sa PBA Board of Governors meeting. Pero isang hindi ko naririnig, yung tungkol sa salary cap. Maraming netizens, maraming PBA fans na nagsasabi, ano ba talagang silbi niyang salary cap na yan kung patuloy na nava-violate at alam naman daw nila na maraming violations dyan. So ang tanong, panahon na ba na baguhin o tuluyang alisin ang salary cap rules ng PBA? Coach Eric, 1 minute, go!
First of all, yung salary cap kasi napaka-importante yan to retain the status of the team, no, or the ball club. Number one, if you always go beyond the salary cap and your team or your ball or your company is not really hindi siya ganun ka-capable because yun ang mahirap so, once you start already a team in the PBA, a lot of it puro palabas yung pera niyan kasi on the business side of it, a lot of it are being used for marketing purposes. Not like in other leagues, may balik some teams, they get a lot of money coming back because of the pot money. Like in the Korean League, alam ko, ganun yung nangyayari. So, if you ask me kung pwedeng tanggalin na yung salary cap, it would be good to remove the salary cap so that you can also compete with a lot of these countries that really offer our players a lot of money. Yun nga lang, itong problema ng Noli. If you remove the salary cap, paano naman yung mga ball club na may certain budget lang na allowable for their stint in the professional league. So yun ang magiging problema doon. Maybe you will lose some of them. Or kasi syempre, you cannot allot everything na palabas Paano na yung negosyo ng kumpanya, di ba? How will you be able to sustain the hundreds or thousands of employees that you're hiring in order for you to run the company? So yes, makakatulong yon to hire and to increase the livelihood of all our great athletes. But yun nga lang, syempre, the challenge is to sustain the business, to sustain the longevity of the ball club to be able to play in the professional league. Yun po yung magiging challenge ng doon.
And that is a huge challenge indeed, Coach Eric. Alam ko na recently nag-report nga ang PBA that nagkaroon sila ng net profit yata ng 200 million. If you divided by 12 teams, wala pang 20 million each yan. Ang ginagastos ng bawat team ay mahigit 100 million. Yung mga talagang regular na naggumagastos. So you can imagine that these are all losses for these companies. Tina-charge na lamang nila sa kanilang marketing expenses. No? But as far as, and I agree with you, kung gusto natin lumaban sa mga teams or leagues abroad, kailangan nating itaas ang ating mga ino-offer sa ating mga players. But again, it will now be a problem with other teams unless the PBA finds a way. Alam niyo po, malaki yung 200 million, but hindi ho yan enough. And I believe kaya pa ng PBA palakin ang kita nila. And I think kung magagawa nila yan, that salary cap will be almost unnecessary dahil ang mga teams ay pwede nang kumita. Coach Eric, again, kayang-kaya ang solo flight and I enjoyed. Alam ko yung mga ideas mo are really coming from experience and I truly like the way yung mga ideas na pinasok mo ngayong araw na ito. Maraming salamat, Coach, and good luck sa'yo.
Yes, maraming salamat, Kong Noli, and to your show, More Power. I really appreciate every time tinatawagan niyo nga po ako, I really enjoy coming out. Kasi it's really one way for me to share my opinion, whether right or wrong, of course. Kung saan tayo medyo mas, kung ano, kasi I normally just share experiences that what I have. Yun lang po yung kasi yung dinaanan ko before at yun din po rin kasi na iintindihan ko. Kasi I look at two sides of the coin all the time. So they were going back, medyo sensitive mga topics niya. And of course, I want the PBA to succeed. I owe them a lot. But syempre, there are some considerations on the business side of it that we really have to take into consideration. But of course, the priority is the Filipino athlete, and I do hope that they would all come home. And so that the Filipino fan will see them live in action once again.
Maraming salamat. Well said. Thank you so much. Mga kaibigan, ang ating kaibigan ng patikang sports analyst at of course, Coach Eric Reyes. Naku, talaga hong napakaraming mga samut-saring mga issues na bumabalot sa PBA. But I'm just happy na kahit paano nagsimula na pong mag-isip ang ating liderato ng PBA tungkol sa mga policies na may maaaring antiquated na, yung luma na po na dapat palitan. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, bago tayo mag-break, isa muna pong paalala sa ating mga kaibigan from Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete, powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Pro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! At sa ating pong pagbabalik, ang ating pong makakapanayam live, si AJ Edu, ang Gilas hopeful na big man para sa FIBA World Cup. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Chery Loom, Chery Tiggo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Na-miss mo ba ang game kagabi? Gusto mo bang malaman ang latest happening sa sports? Like and follow us on social media. Pwede mo nang balik-balikan ang mga paborito mong games anytime, kahit saan. At pwede mo nang i-share sa tropa. Dito lang tayo sa nag-iisang go-to tambayan ng lahat at One Sports PHL on social media.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Celebrate the decade na lahat tayo nakaka-relate. Lahat ng pumatok nung dekada 80, sunod-sunod, sama-sama. Diba ang saya? Celebrate 80s Linggo, dekada na hindi malilimutan. Dekada ng memories ang laman. 80s Linggo, alas 10 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. Balik tayo! Kasama ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
May masolve kayang kaso?
Isog ka nga doon, huwag mo ako siksikin.
Pwede ba? Kanina pa kita nahalata. Naapiktado ka na nakadikit ka sa akin.
Isa pa.
Anong isa pa? Hahalikan mo na ako.
Isa pa, tatadyakan ko na yung mukha mo. Hindi ako mahulog sa'yo.
O may feelings na mabuo?
Ikaw pa yata mahulog sa akin eh.
Jack and Jill sa Diamond Hills. Tuwing linggo, 6 p.m. Tutok lang sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Tutukan gabi-gabi ang malalimang pagsisiyasat ng mga napapanahong balita. Hihimayin ang iba't ibang anggulo para sa mas malawak na diskusyon at impormasyon. Samahan sina Ed Lingao at Mian Los Baños mula sa Frontline tonight, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 10:35 p.m. sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Broadcasting from the Radyo 5 studios in Reliance Street, Mandaluyong City, in Mega Manila. 25,000 watts of true broadcast quality. Mas pinalakas, mas pinalawak, mas pinalinaw na tunog ng AM sa FM. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Ngayong buntag, ganin yung tanan sa lahat po ng ating mga suki from Cebu City and of course, dyan po sa Cagayan de Oro. Kami po ay nagmumula sa Calgary, Alberta, dito po sa Canada. And bago tayo magpatuloy, I just wanted to greet from all the way from sa San Francisco, ang aking pong kaibigan si Apple Capistrano, who's also celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, partner! And of course, to Bobby Rojas also, mga golf buddies natin yan, happy birthday. Namimiss siya na ako, no? I'd also like to say happy birthday to my sister, Eunice Peñaranda. Happy birthday, Eunice Peñaranda Moje. And of course, Mami Ann, pagaling ho kayo, ingat-ingat, walang dapat ika-worry, pinagdarasal natin kayo. And of course, si Lorna Ostrala mula sa Rizal, Laguna. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Alright, at this point mga kapatid, we are ready to talk with somebody who was for a very long time one of the hottest topics in Philippine basketball. Siya po ay tinanghal bilang isa sa mga brightest stars that were upcoming para lalong-lalo na para sa local basketball scene and of course sa national team. In fact, he was part of the Gilas Pilipinas youth team when he began and was already touted to be part of the Twin Tower combination kasama si Kai Soto. And we're very happy to have with us today no other than the big man, hopeful for Gilas, Pilipinas, a bright star, a new generation of a basketball player, AJ Edu. Magandang umaga. Good day, AJ. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sir Noli. Thanks for having me on.
Nakakatuwa. Are you back in the Philippines? Unang-una.
Yeah, I'm back in the Philippines. I got here a couple days ago.
Wow. Welcome back and fresh na fresh. And I'm very happy to have you on the show. Well, I know that you studied in the University of Toledo in Ohio. And of course, ang balita is tinapos mo yung 4 years na eligibility mo. AJ, did you finish college? How are your studies?
Yeah, my studies went well. I just graduated recently, actually, with a master's in business administration. So, yeah, college is all complete.
Wow, that is terrific. That is great news. More than sports, of course, is always the future. Your education is really very, very important. And you know, a lot of people have been following your career, despite the fact that there were a couple of years that you did not play, more than 3 years of various injuries. Finally, you complete an entire season for the Rockets, AJ. How are you? How is the knee? Are you 100% healthy?
Yeah, I'm all good to go now. Last season was the first season I completed in a long time. Thankfully all healthy now. The recoveries went well, and just looking forward to just building off that season with no injuries.
Tell us about your road to recovery, AJ. What did you have to endure? Tell us about the sacrifices to get you to the point where you could complete the whole season.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't easy with the knee injuries, and takes you away from basketball a little bit. But I mean, the biggest thing I relied on was my faith, and also just the people that were around me, the support system, my family, coaches, teammates, just through it all, just trying to persevere, just knowing that the temporary time of not being able to play and not being able to do what I love would come to an end eventually, which it did. Just a lot of good people around me, and a lot of faith.
Were there moments, and honestly, were there moments that you doubted you could come back, to competitive form after those crushing injuries, one after the other, and at times were so disappointing because you were ready to come back and then you get another injury? Did you doubt yourself that you could come back?
For sure. I mean, for sure those thoughts came in now and again about whether I could come back. But, I'm from a family that is pretty resilient. We just, we don't let those sort of thoughts linger for too long. We just, we keep moving, we keep striving, we keep pushing. And those thoughts did come, but ultimately, didn't let them last for too long.
What was the motivation, AJ? What was the inspiration to get healthy again? I know you made a lot of sacrifices, and I guess all of those rehab and all the exercises that you had to go through. But what was your inspiration and motivation to get healthy again?
A big factor would be my family, for sure. They, sacrificed a lot for me to have the opportunities that I had with basketball. My dad used to drive me, all across the UK for games, and my mom, preparing my meals and stuff like that. Just the support that my family gave me, during my basketball career growing up, and the motivation and how much they pushed me. So I definitely just didn't want to just give up on that. I still felt like I had more in the tank, and still had more potential to fulfill. So the biggest motivation was just to make sure that all the hard work that they had put in wasn't for nothing.
And during this entire journey, going back to 100% good health, what did you discover about yourself, AJ? Did you find out something that you did not know about yourself during this entire time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, the biggest thing you discover is that, for someone who grew up, playing a lot of basketball and making that my dream, you kind of almost think that's your whole life. But, the injuries kind of give you a time to just, really just realize that, there's more to life than basketball. And obviously, that dream is still there, but I think I just have more of an appreciation for other things in life, the people, the places I've been, and just the different opportunities that come, with basketball. So I think, the biggest thing was that. And then also just, again, going back to my faith, I feel like during that time, I had nowhere else to lean on except through Jesus, through God. So I think, that just it's just an opportunity to just grow in my faith during that time.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your playing in the University of Toledo, of course, where you ended your senior year. And you had a very good year. You finished all 35 games with the Rockets. You averaged almost over 12 minutes a game, shot 49% from the field, 71% from the free throws, 3 rebounds. And in your last 3 games, you were hitting like 3-4 blocks a game. AJ, when you look at this stats, what were the positives you think of your season?
The big positive was just being on the court. I think, after being off the court for so long, the main thing was just getting me back out there. And then not only just getting me back out there, but getting me back out there into a competitive level as well.
Right.
So, I was out there, not being a liability, but helping, being part of a championship winning team. And, I had a bit of a secluded role this year, but the biggest thing was, having a role that was important to the team. And and as you can see, towards the end of the season, everything, was starting to come back, especially the defensive instincts, like the blocks.
Right.
But just getting that year under my belt, that full season, healthy season was just huge. It was just big time, and can only help in terms of growing my confidence and really fulfilling the potential. Yeah.
I wanna ask you about that special role you had in with the Rockets. What was that, AJ? What was expected of you at that time?
I think the biggest thing was to just have a defensive impact. It's always been something that has come easy to me is defense. But the biggest thing was it would be me and another teammate would come off the bench, be the 6th man basically, and just try and bring energy. Bring energy. Trying to change the momentum of the game if it's not going the way it's going. And it was a role that I enjoyed.
All right. And when you look at that, all your games this season, and you know that obviously you're coming off an injury, were there particular areas of your game that you were focusing on and hoping to improve, aside from, of course, defense?
Obviously, offensively, just getting that confidence again. I think that's the biggest thing. Just getting that versatility that was a big part of my game before the injuries. Using my speed and agility, and using my various skills as well. I think the biggest thing is just building that confidence, and again, having that year of games under my belt would have made a huge difference in terms of confidence.
Well, all of those qualities, all of those abilities will come in handy, of course, for Gilas Pilipinas as we battle the big players, the big stars all over the world in the FIBA World Cup this coming August. And your name has been mentioned so many times. Always when there is a discussion about who could be in the pool, despite the lack of playing time and playing games for you. How does that first of all make you feel, AJ?
No, it feels good. It's nice to know that there's a belief in what I'm capable of, especially when I get back to playing just how I used to play. So I just like that, you know, despite all these injuries, the same way I didn't lose belief in myself, you know, the people, the supporters haven't lost belief either. Yeah, you know, I can't wait to show, you know, why that belief, validate that belief, basically, yeah.
I assume that the reason why you are back is not only to visit your family and not only to be back in the country to have some time with, you know, enjoying the sights, but also to be playing for the national team, or at least playing basketball for the Philippines. So let me ask you, have you been, has Gilas been in touch with you? Have you talked to Coach Shot about a possible stint with Gilas Pilipinas for the FIBA World Cup?
Yes, yeah, they have been in contact with me, and honestly, that is the biggest reason I'm here, is to, you know, be part of the pool and try and earn my way into that team, that final 12. So yeah, that's the biggest reason I'm here, you know, to achieve that goal.
Are you ready? Are you ready? I understand the practices will be called probably next week. Are you ready to practice? Are you ready to join the team in terms of your health, conditioning, and everything, and all the expectations from you?
Yeah, I'm ready and excited. You know, I before I came to the Philippines, I was in Australia. I was in Brisbane, just training as well. So yeah, just really excited to showcase and just to, you know, go out there and show the ability that I'm capable of.
What is the biggest concern at this point for you, and your biggest worry as you join Gilas Pilipinas and, you know, practice with them and you know, play with the, you know, your seniors, with PBA stars, and of course players who have been with the national team in the past?
I don't really see any, you know, reason to be worried. I'm just gonna really enjoy the experience. You know, it's my first time, you know, being part of the Gilas pool, so yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the experience and try and learn as much as I can. You know, I'm still relatively young and still have a lot of time to learn and grow, so you know, I'm just gonna enjoy the experience. And you know, a World Cup hosted by our home nation is a once in a lifetime experience, so the biggest thing for me will just be learning, enjoying, and just having a good time.
What are you looking forward to the most, AJ, as you join the Gilas pool? You know, obviously there are top-notch stars, there are names, there are NBA caliber, from Jordan Clarkson, you know, to Justin Brownlee, and of course, even to the guy that you were supposed to, the pillars of Philippine basketball in the future, Kai Soto. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to learning as much as I can. Again, you know, these are players that have a great amount of experience, even, you know, NBA experience, as you mentioned. And, you know, it's just an opportunity to, you know, see how they, you know, prepare for practice, how they carry themselves, how they, you know, the stuff they do on and off the court. It gives me the opportunity to see firsthand and learn, because, you know, ultimately I want to, that's my aim, is to be sort of in that position to have that experience one day. So yeah, I'm just excited to learn as much as I can.
What do you bring to the team, AJ? Now that you are part of the pool, what do you hope to show, I guess, on the first day of practice all the way to the final selection of the FIBA World Cup pool or lineup?
I like to say, you know, I bring versatility in terms of athleticism, being able to move pretty well from my height, and, you know, obviously the defensive, you know, block shots and yeah, rebound, but also, you know, versatility offensively. You know, I believe I'll try and showcase that more as well. And just, you know, competitiveness. You know, the biggest thing for me is, you know, I really don't enjoy losing. I'm sure no one does, but yeah, I've always been a competitor, and, you know, giving it my all on the court. So yeah, I think those are the biggest things that I can bring.
What will it take, you think, to make it to the final cut for you?
I think, you know, just showcasing what I'm capable of. I think, you know, I'm confident in my ability. I'm confident in how good I am. You know, I haven't been able to showcase that completely yet. But I think, you know, if I go into the training camp, with the mentality of, really showing what I'm capable of. I believe, I can make that final cut.
Obviously, making the World Cup lineup is huge for any player. In case you don't make it, AJ, how will that sit for you?
It won't sit in any way, in a negative way at all. I mean, for me, as long as I know that I've given my, my best, and shown what I'm capable of, and just been a part of the process, then I won't have any negative feeling towards it. I'm gonna give my best, and if that's enough to make the final 12, then so be it. If not, then so be it as well.
Well, we're very excited to see your name in the pool. We're very excited to see you back on the floor, and obviously, hopefully, make it to the final cut of the FIBA World Cup lineup for the Philippines. AJ, of course, Gilas is only but a temporary stop. Your career goes on as a basketball player. Do you have any plans now that you're done with college? What is the next stop for AJ Edu?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, after college, the natural progression is professional basketball, which is what I'm pursuing. As to where that will be, I guess, time will tell, but I'm definitely looking at some options. I mean, I've signed with an agent, and we're looking at some options. And all I'll say is in the next few weeks or so, some news will come out. But just working on professional, looking to play basketball professionally.
Does that include the PBA as an option?
I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, that's good enough for us. I know. It's these are things that you have to discuss with everyone that have supported you coming back from that, that chapter in your life where you were down and now you're back, and we're just so happy to see you back in the Philippines, healthy, 100% healthy, and ready to represent the country once again. AJ, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you back on the court. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, ang pambato po ng Pilipinas, ang big man from the University of Toledo Rockets, of course now part of the Gilas pool, back with the national team, AJ Edu, and we hope certainly that lahat po ng kanyang pangarap ay kanyang matamo para po sa ating bansa at para sa kanyang pamilya. Alright, at this point, bago tayo mag-commercial, silipin muna natin ang mga viral videos at pop culture sa mundo ng palakasan sa Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Since NBA naman ang ating nakatutok tayo ngayon, ito pong ating i-feature na video sa Stop and Pop ay tawagin na lang nating Galawang Jokic. Panoorin niyo po ito ha. Ito po yung laro nitong si Kuya. Akala niyo ho, itong si Kuya ay hindi marunong mag-basketball dahil parang katawan ni Jokic ito nung bago siya pumasok sa NBA. Pero may tira sa labas, merong passing, mala Jokic nga kung tutuusin si medyo Mr. Big Man. Patuloy lang na hindi mo kailangang maging high flyer sa court. Kailangan lang meron kang taglay na galing. At yan ang ating Galawang Jokic sa Stop and Pop. Sa ating pong pagbabalik, ang ating pong pag-uusapan, NBA. Yung pong Jokic versus Butler sa NBA Finals. Kasama sila Boomz Gonzalez at Paolo del Rosario. Ito po ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Chery Loom, Chery Tiggo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion mula sa Calgary, Alberta.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
May gusto ka bang i-share sa programang Sana Lord? Mga kwentong kakaiba at kapupulutan ng aral. Ipadala lamang yan sa aming email address, sanalord@radio5.gmail.com. Maaari rin kayong sumali sa aming Facebook community page. I-type lang sa search box, Sana Lord sa Radyo 5 True FM. Official kwentuhan, Sana Lord. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 11 ng umaga hanggang 1:00 ng hapon. Sana kwento mo na ang susunod na babasahin ni Lord De Vera. Sana Lord sa Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Kala mo andun ka! Live na live ang datingan! Performances na gusto mong ulit-ulitin! Sabado Night Live. Live tracks of your favorite songs. Markahan na tuwing Sabado, alas 7 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. Sabado Night Live, para buhay na buhay pa rin sa alaala. Sa 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Na-miss mo ba ang game kagabi? Gusto mo bang malaman ang latest happening sa sports? Like and follow us on social media. Pwede mo nang balik-balikan ang mga paborito mong games anytime, kahit saan. At pwede mo nang i-share sa tropa. Dito lang tayo sa nag-iisang go-to tambayan ng lahat at One Sports PHL on social media.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Chery Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio. Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahaya sa paghahatid ng news, public service, entertainment, music, information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Naimbag bigat katakayo amin sa lahat po ng ating mga pagkakailagang bahagi ng Luzon, of course, lalong-lalo na sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur, and of course sa Vigan, Ilocos Sur. Ito po ang Power and Play, nagmumula sa Calgary, Alberta, with the wonders of technology. Naku kahit paano tayo po nakakapag-show galing sa labas ng bansa. And of course, hindi rin po mangyayari yan kung hindi dahil sa ating mga pinasasalamatang mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Unahin ko na po, of course, ang Chery Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganito pong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, alam ko bumagyo dyan, ha? Minsan mainit tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan po natin na matibay at protektado ang bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Chery Loom. Tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Chery Loom, ang yerong may aluminum.
Thank you!
Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. How neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Bet you didn't know that the all-new Chery Tiggo 8 Pro has all these features and more at a very affordable price range. Chery Tiggo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features, including door opening warning, adaptive cruise control, and traffic jam assist. The flagship Tiggo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Chery Tiggo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, or PHEV. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Chery dealership near you.
Thank you!
Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven-roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Try their harissa roast, sweet roast, and pepper roast variants. Subukan din ang Chooks, the first dine-in restaurant ng Chooks to Go. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan.
Thank you!
True religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and Hacienda Designer Outlet Silang, Cavite. Visit their newest branch at Grandway, Newport City, Resorts World Manila. True Religion, where passion meets power.
Thank you!
Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Mga kasundo, first booking nyo? Use promo code JRMC Taxi, 50% off on your first motorcycle taxi ride. Book a Joyride motorcycle taxi for safe, affordable, quality, and fast rides. Ano pa ang hinihintay nyo? Download the JR Super App in Google Play Store and the App Store. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2 ground floor, Calle Bistre, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessments and treatment schedule, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886.
Thank you!
ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart!
Thank you!
Maraming salamat po. Pambihira ho, halos 6 na taon na po tayong nagtatanghal ng Power and Play. At kung marami po sa ating mga naging sponsors, ay pamula po nung simula, sila po ay kasama na natin. Kaya po kami lubos na nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng ating mga tagapagtaguyod. Kung hindi po dahil sa inyo, wala rin po ang Power and Play. Alright, at this point, ang pinag-uusapan ng madla, of course, ang mainit na NBA Finals. Nagmula sa napakaraming series, ngayon nauwi sa isa na lamang na labanan para sa World Championship o yung NBA Finals Trophy. At ngayong araw pong ito, para bigyan tayo ng konting sidelights. Hindi naman kailangan talaga ito seryosong dikdikan sa mga numero. Pero sidelights po, dahil ito po makakasama natin ngayon mga batikang sportscasters na kinover ang NBA. Walang iba kundi ang ating mga kaibigan and of course, paborito sa Power and Play, si Paolo del Rosario at si Boomz Gonzalez. Magandang umaga, Pao and Boom.
Morning, Kom. Kamusta ka naman?
Morning, Kom.
Ito, medyo nagpapahinga ng konti. Good to see you, Pao. Nasaan ba si Boom? Parang, ayan. Mabutit nakasama namin kayo this morning. Thank you for joining us this morning dito mula sa Calgary in Canada. Medyo kaya masama yung boses natin eh.
Nasa Singapore ako, Kom. So, international na naman tayo nila, Pao.
International.
Oo nga, Kom, Makati lang po ako. Pasensya na po.
Triangle tayo. Triangle.
Galing ka naman ng Phnom Penh, Cambodia eh. Kaya sigurado
tama.
At saka ikaw lagi kang nasa NBA at alam ko na lagi kang paboritong ipadala ng ating TV crew. But I want to ask you about that first. No? Bago tayo pumunta sa NBA Finals, nanggaling tayo sa Game 7 ng Boston-Miami Gentlemen. And from what I understand, it was the most watched Eastern Conference Finals game ever. An average of 11.9 million views ang yung Game 7 ng Boston versus Miami. Boom, I'll begin with you. As a storyteller and a sportscaster, how important are the narratives in sports?
Well, it obviously, Kom, as you also know very well, it drives conversations. And when conversations are driven, that's what obviously drum up interest for people like us or even casual fans, diba? Sometimes, as you mentioned, maybe in the first part of that series, maybe there weren't a lot of viewers yet, especially the casual fans or maybe the ones who are not fans of Miami and Boston. And then, the conversations start to drum up because of, let's say, the 3-0 lead. And then the one win that Boston had that all of a sudden, just after one win, parang, here comes the comeback. So now you see people tuning in because, baka nga mangyari yung comeback. They win another one, and they win the third one. And then that really was obviously the big conversation going into Game 7. So parang it's our job, Paolo, myself, and yours in so many years to drum up these conversations so that they really watch and to get new viewers as we always try to do every time, whether it's for NBA or any other sports, to bring in new viewers and turn casual viewers into hardcore followers.
Exactly. And Pao, obviously yung sinabi ni Boom, there were two narratives in that particular series. Yung isa, yung Miami Heat, a play-in tournament, a play-in team, trying to make the finals, and of course we know that what happened. And of course Boston trying to come back from where 150 other teams in their situation never did. And of course we know what happened. Miami ang nasa finals ngayon. Do you think that Miami-Denver would generate the same interest as would have a Boston-Denver finals?
Well, actually, that's a good question kasi marami nagsasabi that this is probably worst case scenario para sa mga broadcasters in the sense that, okay, you have two teams that are not necessarily the biggest markets sa NBA. In fact, Denver has one of the smaller ones. Pero I think we're going to see the growth of it from Game 1 moving forward. Because I think we're all starting to recognize, at least yung mga casual fans, kung gaano kagaling talaga si Nikola Jokic, kung gaano kagaling talaga yung Denver Nuggets. It's a little discovery din para sa mga casual fans that grabe yung basketball, grabe yung level of basketball na nilalaro ng Denver. We all know what Miami Heat can do. Siyempre, maraming Pinoy na nakatutok sa Miami dahil kay Coach Eric Spoelstra and yung history ng Miami. But then you have a group of fans right now who are discovering a brand new team, and you never know, we might see a sudden surge ng mga Denver fans dito sa Pilipinas. Sa totoo lang, Kom, I only know 2 people in my life na Denver fans dito. And I wouldn't be surprised that after this finals, we're gonna see a growing fan base. At syempre, the storyline na yung very underappreciated Denver franchise. And people say Miami are the underdogs, pero underdogs din yung Denver in terms of yung narrative, in terms of yung storytelling. And it's about time that we gave them their flowers as NBA fans.
Actually, when dito sa Calgary, when you go around and I was trying to look for a Denver shirt a Denver jersey, Jokic jersey, wala. So talagang alam natin na yung market na yun ay maliit, no? Kahit paano yung Miami meron, pero yung Denver medyo nawawala. But again, when you talk about the series ngayon, na Denver versus Miami ng finals, what to you two are the most intriguing storylines for this particular series? I'll begin with you, Boom.
Well, first of all, for us, to be selfish, it's the whole Eric Spoelstra angle, obviously.
Right.
We'll never get tired of that. It's an amazing job that he's done. Obviously, he's been to the finals 6 of the 7 times that Miami's been in the finals. He's the architect of 6, right? And I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I think this is his most impressive run, considering everything that has happened in the regular season. He has done a masterful job. Alam na natin yun ng kwento na, being the underdog in all of the other series and then making it to the final. So that, selfishly, is the number one story for me. And then the Nikola Jokic angle in one team, and then a Jimmy Butler angle on the other team. Both who are underappreciated, both are maybe even disrespected for very different reasons. Both who are not in the NBA lifestyle also. They're not always on social media. They're not living the NBA life. They're not caught up with individual awards. They're very team-oriented guys. One even has a reputation of a negative reputation before coming into Miami, as you know, and then you are a Philly fan. Coach Nolly, I don't know if you feel bad that you lost Jimmy Butler at one point, diba? So,
wag mo na paalala.
But you know what I mean, right? Those are two very different stories. And then Nikola Jokic, who at the end of this all might be the best European player in the NBA ever when it's all said and done. So that, and then the others. The teammates, the undrafted for Miami, and the ones who are surrounding Nikola Jokic on the other side. I think those are really great storylines, and I really believe that this series is going to be longer and tougher than what we all assume it will be, despite what happened yesterday.
Pao, those are a lot of lines. Of course, kinabit tungkol kay Jokic. Jokic is now beginning to, I think, change the narrative about the European player. Na ang Europeans are smart players, and they don't need to be too athletic to become the most dominant player in the NBA. What are the other intriguing storylines for you, Pao?
Well, Boom already touched on it, kay Eric Spoelstra. I honestly believe that he mentioned this is the most impressive run so far. Kung mag-champion yung Miami Heat this time around, I think we're going to have to put Coach Eric Spoelstra in the conversation of how great is he as a coach overall sa buong history ng NBA. Kasi grabe talaga, again, the first team that are coming into it from a play-in situation, and natalo pa sila sa unang play-in nila. So honestly, everything is stacked against the Miami Heat. Apart from that, syempre, all the narratives about Denver, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, how good are they in the history of the NBA in terms of being a good 1-2 combination? Kasi are we going to start mentioning them in the levels of a Stockton to Malone? Is it going to be that type of thing, especially if they do win the championship? So a lot of great storylines until now. And of course, what do we think of Mike Malone? We always talk about Jokic, but then the job that Mike Malone has done para sa Denver as a head coach is always going to be something to be looked at, especially sa mga basketball nerds out there, because the way that they've been playing has been incredible. And to touch on yung sinabi ni Boom kanina, and sinabi mo po, it's the fact that Nikola Jokic has been changing the way we look at basketball players. May pag-asa na yung mga hindi athletic, yung mga hindi talaga marunong gumalaw. As long as matalino ka, you know where to go, you know what to do. May pag-asa ka. And again, for a lot of Filipinos who cannot end up dunking or be hyper-athletic, may pag-asa pa tayong lahat. So, learn the game and study the game. I think that's something to be considered, because the NBA has become a very global league, and this is proof of it. Jamal Murray from Canada, Nikola Jokic from Serbia, and of course Coach Eric Spoelstra na Philam it has been something to look out for in general kasi, this gives us hope sa totoo lang that if you can't be 6'8" and dunking over people all the time, you never know if your smarts can make a difference.
Actually, if I may add just one last thing, this also kind of validates that bubble run that both teams had.
Yes,
diba?
yes.
Miami going all the way to the finals again, and Denver was, just right outside in the Western Conference Finals. So that, just to add to that, for those who missed out or forgot about, or parang don't consider that whole bubble run as anything legitimate, them being in the finals also validates that, in my opinion.
Alam mo, tama rin yung sinasabi ni Pao, the NBA has transformed basketball into a global game. And somehow that relates to the PBA. Kasi we were seeing all of these PBA board decisions coming out now, trying to ease the rules for players who want to go out of the country and try it out in another league. I think they have to understand that ganun na talaga ang mundo eh. And in the end, it will make the PBA a better league, a stronger league, especially when these players come around and start to transfer the knowledge and the learnings that they have picked up from the other leagues. And talking about knowledge and learnings, we saw Game 1 yesterday, gentlemen, and obviously it was one-sided from the very beginning. The size of Denver was there. I thought that this was going to be defined as offense versus defense because when I looked at the numbers, ang sabi nga, Miami had improved tremendously as a defensive team while Denver went up several notches higher as an offensive team. But do you think that Game 1 is going to be the prototype, or was this a case of fatigue for Miami and a lot of rest for Denver? I'll begin with you, Pao. Go naman.
Yeah, because it was really interesting kasi we were really looking at, me and my mga co-analysts ko sa the game, we're trying to figure out kung itong nga ba yung magiging, basically what the series looks like. And I think a lot of us disagree because lahat ng mga, majority of the shots missed by Miami were actually wide open shots you expect them to miss. They also looked, even though one-sided yung game, the fact that they played as badly as they did, they shot as badly as they did about Miami, the gap wasn't too big in terms of yung final score. In fact, they did start the fourth quarter in an 11-0 run. So we know that Miami do have those bursts available na they can make life difficult for Denver. I also feel that it was also a case of Denver having a good game from everybody. Everybody had a good game. Aaron Gordon had a good game. Steve Brown had a good game. Jamal Murray obviously went off as well. And si Nikola Jokic wasn't even shooting in the first half. That's only because lahat ng mga supporting cast niya did show up. For Miami, the supporting cast wasn't necessarily there. I think we can go back to yung 3-point shooting numbers na I believe below 30%. Tapos, it felt like they were the Boston Celtics in Game 1 instead of the Miami Heat in terms of yung shooting. So I think that what we've learned is that one, Denver's legit, and two, Miami could have an off day. I think we're going to see a better view of the series in game number 2 home because we should expect the Miami Heat to at least shoot the ball better against the Denver Nuggets.
Boom, sabi mo kanina that you expect this to be a very good series despite what happened yesterday. Obviously, we've seen Miami come back. They always keep coming back. As Pao had mentioned, there's a game na yun. Bumabalik at bumabalik sila. Who do you think could be a pivotal player here, Boom, na hindi na sa starting lineup ng dalawang teams?
Okay, first of all, Cobb, I think the lesson that we always learn every year about watching, covering, dissecting the NBA is, in general, we always love to overreact. Sometimes it's also part of our job to overreact because to drive the conversations. Yeah, so every game 1, there's always going to be an overreaction, whether it's the first round of the series and especially in the NBA Finals. So I think that's all part of it. That we a lot of it becomes, this might be how this series is going to go. So I did say earlier that I think it's going to be tougher and longer than we all expect. I think there was a little bit of human nature kicking in for Miami. I think they were a little bit hungover, not literally, but from all the conversations from that Boston series. I mean, that drains. That is so draining. And then you go into altitude in 48 hours. I think that plays a little bit of a difference. And now they have a 2-day break at the time to settle down and maybe mentally get out of the Boston series already. I think that will play a factor for them. Now, in terms of coming off the bench, interesting enough, obviously it's the Miami side that has to make the adjustment, and all this talk about Tyler Hero possibly playing in game number 2, possibly playing in game number 3. And it's interesting that they say that. We don't know obviously what his game condition will be, but if you follow Tyler Hero, especially this year, he is what they call in Miami their drop zone killer or their drop defense killer. And drop defense is what Denver played yesterday on Miami a lot. So Tyler Hero has the best floater among the Miami players. He has the best mid-range jumper alongside Jimmy, who could not make a shot also yesterday. So I think that will be a factor. Maybe we'll maybe even see a little bit of Kevin Love in this series. I think the fact that he might be able to give spurts of 2-3 minutes, to provide the pick and roll and then pull out Jokic, because you saw him. He just kept standing in the middle because it was Bam. Bam will not shoot the 3. So maybe that will be a little bit of I'm no expert, but just from a fan, I think that could be a factor. So, yun yung mga abangan natin. And I love playoffs and I love these series because you'll always see these little incremental adjustments from game to game.
Alam mo, a lot of the fans they only see the game, and we see how the production is, kung gaano kaganda ang production ng NBA. I was watching the game 1, even the festivities before the game, and I saw the entire thing, and it was just amazing. All the talk, all the discussion, all the analysis, all the features, just amazing. I know you guys have been there. Can you describe a little bit about what fans look forward to in the NBA atmosphere na hindi nakikita ng mga Pinoy?
Well, when you talk about the NBA and it's very...
I know Boom also knows this, so I'll ask Boom later.
It's very visceral, because again, especially for the home crowd, it's always going to be it's yung ownership ng team nila, ramdam na ramdam mo that this is our team, sila yung mga bata natin. You're going to feel it to a different level. And of course, syempre, the pageantry is different when it comes to playoff time. You have former players who normally haven't been there. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, right now, yung NBA have decided to use 4 rookies as yung mga correspondent nila. So may makita mo, umiikot yung rookie of the year nila si Paolo Banchero. And the rest and some of the other high-flying rookies from this year going around as fans. Of course, konting plug lang po, but we actually do have Denise Stan covering the finals for us and will be on the game soon to tell us a bit about the pageantry that's happening specifically in Denver. Then of course, lipat din siyang Miami for a couple of games. It's going to be a really interesting thing, especially because yung Denver, first time nila na mag-finals.
In the finals, that's right.
So
that's right.
You can only imagine kung gaano ka-excited yung mga fans doon and to reinvigorate them, considering especially that Denver have had a hard time historically in the past few years connecting to yung younger fans nila. So it'll be interesting to hear yung mga kwento ni Denise about how they try to engage yung mga fans nila doon, and of course how the royalty of NBA have been in Denver in and about the fans to increase the interest of yung Denver Nuggets and ng buong liga sa Colorado in particular.
Bom, you have covered the NBA right there on courtside. I know you have not gone to Denver dahil hindi pa nagpa-finals on Denver, but at least in Miami you were there. Tell us about how a localized coverage can really help, and how you put those localized ingredients just to make it more palatable para sa ating mga Filipino fans.
Before I answer that, just to hop on that first question of yours that you asked, Pao, and that whole human nature part of this conversation. And yes, I've had obviously the pleasure. Even Miami, I went to 4 straight years to the finals when they went 4 straight years, and then like Denver, I went to, let's say, an Oklahoma when they had the first time championship stint, right, with the time when KD and Harden and Russ were there. So going back to the human nature part and the whole coverage, a lot of us sometimes don't realize how it is a chaotic scene now in the finals, even in the days in between. There are a ton of media obligations for these players, for these coaches that they did not have throughout the playoffs. Even in ECF and WCF, dumoble yan. Pagdating sa international coverage, tumriple yan. So the scrums get bigger. The atmosphere is just, for us media, it's beautiful. But for the players, some of them are either surprised, shocked, are not comfortable with it, and sometimes it affects how they play the game because of the whole, as Paolo said, pageantry and fiesta of the atmosphere of the finals. Even on off days, they have obligations of 30 minutes that they have to talk to the media after their practice or before practice, depending on the schedule. And even on in-between days, they have obligations with the media individually and as teams and as the coaches. So a lot of them are going to see that for the very first time and can be a distraction. And then South Beach is a distraction in itself when you get there for a lot of players, as they would say. So that is sometimes the things that we forget, that tao lang din yan, diba? That contributes to some of the chaos of an NBA Finals coverage. And yun nga, especially pagdating na NBA Finals, the international coverage and everybody trying to grab at you, trying to get a soundbite out of you, trying to get videos and pictures of you. These things are not seen by, casual fans. We sometimes show it during our behind-the-scenes coverage through social media when we're there. But it also, it's all for them, obviously, for the promotion of the players, the league, the finals, but it can be a distraction. And a quick story, I remember when LeBron in 2011, when they lost to Dallas, or was it 2012, I could see the way they were talking on court during practices, LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh, and how nagsimula yung mga ganyan-ganyan na usapan. Diba, naalala
para hindi
because,
malaman kung ano pinagsasabi.
Oh, diba? Because nga, everybody was pulling out a phone. So it affects them that way in terms of that during practices. And they're always looking out at media, because media is always looking out for something, for clickbait and all of these things. So yeah, it affects the whole thing. And then we see it in the coverage, or we don't see it in the coverage, the final product.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of other questions I want to ask you, but I'm running out of time. So I want to ask you this. We know that a lot of these players, or at least some of these players that are now playing in the finals, malamang pumunta dito for the FIBA World Cup. And Pao, you're talking about Jokic, you mentioned Jamal Murray, who may play for Canada. You're talking about Jimmy Butler, who may play for the United States. How does this affect and impact our FIBA World Cup hosting, Pao?
Well, siyempre we have to figure out how all these players feel right after the championship, especially with the results. Like, for example, if let's say matalo yung Denver, how angry will Nikola Jokic be when he goes here to serve for Serbia and really bosses the entire tournament? Of course, Jamal Murray is also going to be an interesting choice, kasi at the moment, I don't think anyone has made any full commitments, at least sa mga NBA teams. Pero there are a few guys personally that I would like to see in the World Cup. I want to see more of Nikola Jovic, yung sa Miami in particular. There are some guys that you kind of want to see here who are now in the finals. But again, I don't blame them for not committing to the national teams as of yet, or at least formally to the crowd, because of their commitments to NBA. In fact, they'll cross that bridge when they get there. But you never know. Let's say kung natalo yung Denver, you may have an angry Nikola Jokic who wants to win the gold here to make himself feel better. Or at the same time, then kung let's say natalo si Jimmy Butler, will that affect his decision whether or not he's invited to the US camp to actually wash away that loss with a goal, hopefully, para sa Team USA ko.
Plus, of course, the fact that, obviously when they come here, napanood sila sa finals ng NBA, mas maraming interest ng mga Pinoy. To let you go, very quickly, and I know you don't make predictions, but finals, Denver, Miami. Boom.
Oh, I think at the end of it all, no matter how it's going to be so long and might be tighter than what we all think, I still think Denver has more than enough to win its first championship. But I think it will not be as easy as people think, like a 4-game sweep or maybe even a 5-game sweep. Game number 2 is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Well, sa totoo lang, the sensible person in me says Denver in 5. But I have been convincing myself really hard that Miami have a chance. So I'm gonna go against the grain. Sasabihin ko na lang Heat in 6.
Or Miami in 7. Para masaya. Miami in 7.
I think too much kung Heat in 7. Pero Heat in 6
Wow.
Like, I even know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna win game 2. They're gonna take game 3. And Denver's gonna take game 4. Then 5 and 6 Miami na yun. Yan yung Yan yung, that's how I convince myself.
That would be a dream run.
Para sa One Sports at kay Ate Shena, para sa iyo ko pa. Game 7, Miami, Denver.
All right.
Always fun to have you. I hope to see you from Singapore, from Makati, from Canada. It's always fun, wherever you may be. Thank you so much, Boom and Pao. Maraming salamat. Mga kaibigan natin po, mga kaibigan, patikang sportscasters and of course, your favorite sports analysts, Paolo del Rosario and Boomz Gonzalez, talking about the sidelights of the NBA. Yung mga hindi po natin nakikita. Yan ang nagpapasarap sa sports. Yan ang nagbibigay ng anghang at kulay sa NBA Finals. Alright, bago po tayo magpatuloy sa ating mga panauhin, balikan muna natin ang ilang mga best moments sa larangan ng sports this week in sports history.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
May 31, 2018 o 5 years ago pa lang, nabuhay ang isang legendary NBA meme. Hanggang ngayon, buhay na buhay ang litrato na yan ni LeBron James at J.R. Smith. Tingnan niyo po to ha. Kasunod ng NBA Finals Game 1, blunder ng dating Cavaliers guard. Akala kasi ni JR, lamang sila kontra Golden State Warriors, kaya nag-dribble na lang siya pagkatapos makuha ang missed free throw rebound. Tumuloy sa overtime ang laban kung saan nanalo ang Golden State 124-114 at ang litratong yan ang paulit-ulit na paalala sa nangyari sa Cleveland Cavaliers. A new JR meme was born because of an NBA Finals blunder this week in sports history. Grabe yan. And I'm sure Boom would remember this particular meme. Naku talagang maalala din po natin yung mga nangyari niyan. Alright, at this point, we are just about set to bring in our next and final set of guests. Although, nag-aabang-abang pa tayo ng konti doon pala sa ating mga magiging bisita. Bago po yan, syempre, gusto ko lang pong, again, paalalahanan na ang ating pong iba't ibang liga ay ating pong patuloy na suportahan. Ang PVL ay magsisimula na yung kanilang invitational conference sa June 29. And what's amazing with the volleyball scene now is that patuloy po na ang pagdaloy ng talent, pagdaloy ng mga players, pagpasok po ng magagaling na players na ating pong napapanood doon sa collegiate scene na biglang aangat po sa professional ranks. This year, makikita po natin ang ilang mga pangalan na nanggaling sa UAAP papunta sa PVL. Kasama na rin po dyan ay sila Faith Nispero sa Limbawa at si Vanny Gandler. At ito pong ating ilalagay sa ating susunod na interview ay ganun din po ang kaso. Sila po ay mga UAAP stars now turning pro as we put them in the spotlight.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Hello po.
Ang mga nag-rebuild, mga kapatid, sa larangan ng PBL Ang isa sa pinakamalaking rebuilding program ay nagmula sa Chery Tiggo crossovers, hoping to reverse their fortunes. At ngayong araw pong ito, makakasama natin ang mga bago nilang recruits, Laure, Cess Robles at si Jen Nierva. Magandang umaga, ladies. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning po. Good morning po.
Nako, nasa ba kayo? Nasa practice ba kayo?
Opo.
Nako, magpapasalamat ako kay Ma'am City at kay Coach Aaron sa pagbibigay ng panahon para sa atin ngayon dito sa Power and Play. Again, we're coming to you live kasama po ang ating mga Chery Tiggo. Okay, let's begin kagad. Turning pro. Unang-una, let me ask siguro si Cess at saka si Jen. It was a disappointing loss sa UAAP. How much of that UAAP loss, yung finals, ang nag-udyok sa inyo na mag-pro na? O naghanda sa inyo na dito sa pagiging pro? Malaking bagay yung pagkatalo. How much did that help sa inyong pagiging professional ngayon?
Ako po, before I played my last season, I already decided po na it's going to be my last na. So, yung outcome po nung season 85, wala talaga siyang connection with the decision sa pag-pro ko.
Alright. What about you, Cess?
Ako naman, same lang kay Jen. Alam naman ng team na last year ko na po. Pero yun nga po, yung season 85, parang madaming nangyari din po eh. So, yun na din siguro sa akin na it's time na parang umalis ako kasi nakikita ko naman na ready na yung mga bata.
Iba yung, of course, yung kaso mo, Iya. You had one more year para sa UST, pero you decided to forgo that. Bakit ka nag-decide na hindi na maglaro in the final year and of course, maging professional na?
Siguro, one deciding factor is ang tagal ko na din na naglalaro sa UST. And I know naman yung mga bata na I think same kay Jen at saka kay Cess din na ang tagal din nila naglalaro sa NU na yung mga next generation na maglalaro for our teams is para makapag-prepare, para makapag-grow, and makakuha din ng time din nila. And yung time namin, parang feeling ko namin is tapos na talaga. Nasulit na at nabigay na talaga namin yung para sa school na paglaban na talaga namin and minaha talaga namin ng sobra-sobra. Kaya ayun, siguro nandun talaga yung factor na sige mag-pro na ako kasi tiwala naman din talaga ako sa mga bata sa UST na ipaglalaban din nila yung UST the way ko pinaglaban.
Kumbaga pigang-piga na yung college career ninyo at panahon na talaga, hinog na. Alright, so ang tanong, ang logical question, ngayon na kayong lahat ay maglalaro na sa Chery Tiggo crossover. Bakit crossover ang napili ninyo? Simulan ko siguro sa iyo, Jen.
Sa akin po, ever since before, when our ates from NU, like Ate Jaja, Ate Dindin, played, even Ate Jasmine, played for Chery Tiggo, dati po photon pa. They really inspired me, nung sila po yung naglalaro. And then, I also want to play, yun talaga yung dream ko, to play with them, na makasama ko din sila, ganyan. And, iba po kasi yung, meron na kami connection together. And then, also, one factor also is Coach Aaron. He's been my coach nung high school ko kami. And, parang a big part of me din kung paano ako nag-grow as Jen Nierva or as libero. Siya yung tumulong ko sa akin. Then, ayun, and kasama ko din po sa pieces and Joy B. And I think maganda po yung decision na be together pa din sa pro. And now, na kasama ko din si Aya and si Ivy na also top players din in the UAAP. I think maganda yung path na magkakasama ko.
What about you, Cess? Meron bang iba na ligaw? May ibang gustong kunin yung services mo? Bakit mo napili ang Chery Tiggo?
Meron naman po, pero pinili ko po dito kasi yun nga po sabi ni Jen na nandito po yung mga ate namin. So, kasama ko na din sila dati. And parang, ang sarap lang din ulit sa feeling na magiging teammate mo sila ulit. And yung yung gel sa loob ng court, parang andun na din. Hindi ka na din mahihirapan pa mag-adjust. And yun din, si Aya, nakasama din namin. And yung, mga teammates namin last year po, season 84.
Oo. Ikaw, Aya, literally, sister talaga ang nandyan. So, yung ba naging rason o may iba pang rason na Aya?
Siyempre, meron pa naman. Hindi lang naman din si ate. Kumbaga, na-influence. Since dati ko kasi photo na ako. So, nakasama ko na po yung mga dati-dating preview players pa. Hanggang kay Ate Jaja na Chery na bubble training bago yung first conference ng PBL. So, kumbaga, nakita ko po yung program, nakita ko yung coaching staff, kung paano sila mag-handle ng team, and yung owners, kung paano sila mag-alaga ng mga players nila. So, isa din sa factors. Kaya po ko nag-check.
Well, kilala natin si Boss Romel. Napakabait na tao niyan at kaya naman natutuwa rin ako na nandiyan na kay Chery Tiggo. Well, of course, it was a massive rebuild ng Chery Tiggo. 5 kayo actually na nakuha, kasama si Aimee and of course si Joyme ng NU din na sumama sa inyo. What can the team expect from the three of you? Siguro ikaw muna, Iya. Anong maaasahan sa'yo ng team ng Chery Tiggo?
Siyempre, ako kasi in any way, handa akong tumulong. Kung ano man yung position na ibigay sa akin. Kung mag-stay ako sa open, I'm willing to help. Lalo na nandyan si Ate EJ. Kumbaga, meron akong dagdag pupukpuk sa akin habang nasa loob ng court. So, kumbaga, masaya kasi itong batch na to yung makakasama ko ngayon. Na confident ako, nakaharap ako sa first conference ko sa pro with them. And syempre excited ako sa kung ano man yung mga journeys namin all throughout sa aming program.
Cess, ano ang maasahan sa'yo ng mga fans?
Ako naman, yun nga, syempre andito na kami. So, gagawin na lang namin kung ano yung mga gusto ko ipagawa ng coaches namin. And syempre, gusto ko din na kung ano yung natutunan namin ng college is madala din namin dito. Yung mga na namin. And sa help na sa mga ate, siguro pagiging, syempre leader naman po kaming tatlo. So siguro yun din, parang itratry namin na i-meet talaga kung ano yung mga ates namin. And yun po, yung maasahan din nila is makakapag-contribute po talaga kami.
What about you, Jen? Ikaw naman?
Sa akin po siguro, it's more on yung maturity. Kasi iba na yung professionally compared to UAAP pa. And yung haharapin po namin hindi madali. Like every team talagang challenging kasi may mga veterano na, experience na compared to us. So it's more of giving what we can talaga. Siyempre, grateful kami na kinuha din kami ng Chery. So it's our time din naman to deliver and contribute kung ano yung kaya namin. At the same time, also gain yung experience and knowledge yung lahat ng kukuha namin, especially itong first conference namin.
Alam mo, ang bigat din of course ng pinasukan ninyong team. Napakaraming veterano dyan from Maylin Pat all the way to Shaya Adorador. Pero I want to ask you individually, no? Unahin ko siguro ikaw, Cess, no? You were the team captain, of course, finals MVP ng UAAP and of the NU Lady Bulldogs. And of course, now, ang makakalaro mo, katulad nila Maylin Pat, ni EJ, si Ponggay, and of course, Shaya. Ano sa tingin mo role ang lalaruin mo now that you are playing with veterans?
Yun na yung masaya kasi yung mga ate ko, tulad ni Ate Maylin, international kasi siya naglalaro. So parang ang sarap lang na may kasama kang ganon, marami kang matutunan. And yung sa akin naman, yung pwesto ko is, yun pa rin, hindi ko rin mababago. Siguro i-improve ko na lang yun. Kasi yun nga, yung sabi nga, yung ate ko mga veterano. So kaya kailangan ako din, ma-meet ko din kung ano sila.
On the other hand, ikaw, Iya, sabi nga ng marami, you are the most awaited collegiate player na lalabas sa UAAP at maglalaro sa PBL. But more than that, of course, marami nag-aabang itong paglalaro nyo. Kasama po ang ate mo na si EJ. Ito ba sa tingin mo, and hindi mo naman maaalis to yung pag-compare sa inyong dalawa, do you feel more pressure na kasama mo ang ate mo sa team mo, and baka ma-compare ka, or in fact, makakompare ka talaga ng mga fans mo?
Since mag-volleyball po kasi kami, meron na laging comparison. So kahit nga nung nagba-basketball kami, nagsisimula kami, meron na din talaga. Pero ang maganda kasi sa amin ni Ate EJ, hindi kasi namin pinapa-feel sa isa't isa yung rival kami. Kumbaga, sabay namin inaangat yung mga sarili namin. Kapag sa training, alam namin may lapses kami. Nandyan kami like to remind each other na, masyado malambot yung palo mo, wala kang depensa, yung mga ganong bagay na hindi para hilahin ka pababa. Pero para yun, alam namin sa sarili namin na para yun, maging better kami and mas mag-grow pa kami. Kumbaga, syempre, sabi nga nila, mas makikita mo yung mali ng kakampi mo kapag ikaw yung nanonood sa kanya. And as a kakampi, syempre, nandyan din si ate to guide me. And of course, as a natin, nandyan din siya to support me kung ano yung gagawin ko. At kung ano yung ipaperform ko, matutulog kasi.
Siyempre, mas pagkakatiwalaan mo. Siyempre, kadugo mo yan. And of course, ngayon, ka-teammate mo pa. Jen, you were the top libero sa UAP in season 84. And you ranked very highly, of course, also itong last season. Pero ngayon, you will be playing with Buding Doremdes. And alam naman natin ang reputation din ni Buding as a libero. Ano ang naasahan mong matututunan mo sa kanya bilang mas veterano ngayon sa rookie year mo?
For now po, syempre, I'll be supporting Ate Buding. And ang dami kong learnings na pwede pa makuha sa kanya. Like, siguro, tactical and technical wise. So, ang dami rin experiences sa pro. So, siguro, syempre, madami tayo matutunan by watching. So now, every training, tinitignan ko how she train, kung paano siya gumalaw, paano siya inside the court. But at the same time, I'm also giving feedbacks kung ano yung alam ko din. Para it's, alam mo, two-way na natututo ko from her and natututo din siya for me. So it's just, continuous learning from each other.
Cess, hindi ka ba concerned sa playing time? Kagaya nung nabanggit ko kanina, maraming veterano dyan na maaaring nasa pwesto mo rin. Concerned ka ba dyan sa bibigay sa yung oras ni Coach Aaron?
Sa ako po?
Oo, Cess?
Si
Cess.
Hindi naman po. Kasi syempre, binibigyan naman po kami mag-perform ng maayos So kung mag-perform kang maayos, di ba? Yun naman yung ko sa akin. Basta mag-perform na ako maayos.
Ikaw, Iya, ganun din. Hindi ka ba naghahanap, hindi ba naging parte ng negotiations dyan na ikaw ibibigyan ng time on the court, lalong-lalo na that you're a rookie right now?
Hindi naman po, kasi para sa akin, the more na madami kang kasama, lalo na kung malalakas, katulad nila Cess, kumbaga ma-inspire ka din to grow, ma-inspire ka to improve every training. Hindi yung parang ibibigay na lang sa akin yung playing time kasi yun na yung napag-usapan. Gusto ko din may mga bagay na, alam mo yun, pinaghihirapan para worth it kapag pinasok ako sa court, mapakita ko yung kaya kong i-contribute sa.
Jen, sabi mo nga, you will be playing again under Coach Aaron Velez na nakasama mo noong ikaw ay nasa Nazareth pa, no? Again, what is it like playing under Coach Aaron? And ano sa tingin mo ang magiging impact nito sa inyo, lalong-lalo na kayong ngayon ay kasama ng Chery Tiggo, Jen?
Po yung advantage is, I think po, mas kilala niya na ako. Alam niya kung paano siguro ako i-handle, same din po sa mga iba niyang players. So, hindi magkakaroon siguro masyado ng conflict and mas madali mag-deliver kung ano yung gusto niyang ituro sa amin, gano'n. And at the same time, mas madali din yung adjustments sa isang sabi na lang, gets na po agad namin. So, I think yun yung maganda sa team po namin.
Well, as a final question, marami pa ako gusto sana tanungin but nauubusan tayo ng oras dito. I want to ask you, ano sa tingin nyo ang magiging biggest difference now that you're playing as a pro compared to yung naglalaro kayo as a collegiate player? I'll begin with you, Iya.
Una talaga, ang mamimiss ko is yung crowd, yung school pride, yung Sea of Yellow, Tamasian community, nasisigaw talaga. Siyempre yung cheers ng UST. Siguro, isa yun. Kasi alam naman yan nila Cess and nila Jen na kapag naririnig mo talaga yung sobrang daming humihiyaw para sa team mo, is sobrang nakakagana, parang hindi ka napapagod. Parang willing kang maglaro ng maglaro hanggang kung saan man matapos yung laro na yan. So, ayun talaga, yun siguro yung pinaka-miss ko going sa PBL.
Cess, ano ang magiging pagkakaiba ng paglalaro sa iyo ngayon as a pro at compared sa UAAP?
Ako naman, siguro ma-miss ko yung mga yung mga fans kasi syempre iba yung pinakita nila nung season 84 and season 85. Tapos yung mga teammates ko, kasi di ba ate ako doon. Ngayon dito, bunso naman kami. So siguro yun yung mga pag-deliver sa mga bata kung ano yung dapat gawin nila, kung ano yung i-improve pa nila. I mean, pwede naman gawin dito, pero iba pa rin pag bunso tapos sa atin.
Iba ba feeling, Jen, na bago na naman, parang simula na naman, difference ng pagiging senior sa college at ngayon, ikaw ang freshman sa pro?
Opo, iba po talaga. Kasi, pero masarap po ulit kasi ang sarap sa feeling na bata ka ulit. Na hindi naman ikaw yung puro ang daming responsibilities, kailangan ganyan ngayon, medyo, okay, kalma lang tayo, kinig tayo sa mga ates, sunod tayo nila ates, and alam mo yun, ang sarap po sa feeling na mas mabagal yung pace mo ngayon. Kasi pag ate ka, pag ikaw yung matanda, parang ang dami mong ginagawa palagi, parang so now, parang ang sarap bata ka ulit. Focus ka lang sa role mo, maglaro ka lang.
And of course,
yeah.
And of course, the goal is always to win the championship. Ngayon na super souped up ang Chery Tiggo crossover. Maraming mag-aasa na kayo babalik muli sa Final Four and hopefully back sa throne ng PBL. Iya, Cess, and Jen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck sa inyong bagong career and new journey kasama ng Chery Tiggo crossover.
Thank you, Sir Nolly.
Ingat kayo, ingat kayo. Alright mga kapatid, ang ating pong aabangan sa PBL Invitational Conference, ang mga bagong recruits of course ng Chery Tiggo crossover, si Iya, Laure, si Cess Robles at si Jen Nierva. Naku, ang lakas ng kupunan ngayon ng Chery Tiggo crossover. Congratulations again sa kanilang ginawa para sa kanilang kupunan. Alright, before tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang pong i-announce lahat ng ating mga winners sa Joyride Super App Top Up promo. Mananalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App para sa inyong delivery, para sa inyong MC taxi rides, and of course a Joyride car. Sila Pedro Esperida, Tommy Bucad, Rhea Camacho, Anthony Santos at si Kate Costombrado. Congratulations po sa inyong lahat at again, magkita-kita tayo next week. Yung mga po nagpadala ng pulso ng bayan, atin pong babasahin yan in our private time and obviously we will answer your messages. Again mga kapatid, kami po nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat sa inyong pagsubaybay. Saan man dako kayo naroon at saan man dako kami naroon. Mula po sa Calgary, Alberta, Canada, ito po si Nolly Iyala nagpapasalamat at laging nagsasabi, bawal ang masungit tuwing Sabado. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Susunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play!
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. natin ng bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, tsumbe, sibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.